Hi, and welcome to a new year and a new episode of The Disruptive Author. And today I am talking to Paula Burgess from Beyond the Maze. Hi, Paula, how are you going?
Hi, good, thank you.
Awesome. That's a nice energy high there happening for a Tuesday afternoon, I believe. So let's chat. So we're doing things a little bit different with the Disruptive Author this year. So what I would like to do is not so much talk to you about what you've published or what you're thinking about published, although that may come up in the conversation. What I'm keen to find out from you is your experience in business
hmm
and how you can help other people in business. So let's start with, why don't you tell me what you do and how long you've been doing it?
Sure. So, how long I've been doing it? I hit my 10th anniversary this year, which is very exciting.
That's
So,
10 years in business.
10 years in business.
That's a
Yep,
great achievement. Yep.
totally. Haven't given up yet. Yeah, so I have a virtual assistant business. So, we
Mm-hmm.
offer virtual reception and administration services to small business owners, generally in the allied health and financial planning space, but we do have somewhere in between. We have some others as well, which is great. And I also have a coaching business where I coach other VAs to get their business to six figures and beyond.
Woohoo. That's awesome. Because how many, there's a couple of questions I actually want to ask you out of what you just said, but how many VAs actually are just plodding along? Basically, they've just got themselves a job
Yeah. Oh,
rather than a business.
so many. And
Yep.
people, until I pointed out, people don't realize that all they've pretty much done is create themselves a job. They
Yes.
think they're still, working for themselves and everything's dandy, but they're still attached to having their clients and having to do the job every single day. And if they get sick, they're stuffed basically
Yeah.
because they've
Yeah.
got to pull themselves through to keep getting that work done. So they
Yeah.
really still have just all they've done is created themselves a job.
Yeah. Excellent. I think that's a great answer. That's why I'm saying excellent, not excellent that they've created a job for themselves. That's not so good. Because I mean, let's face it, if you're going to go to work for someone, um, that's fine. You might as well go to work for someone else and let them do all the running around and get the
Mhm.
business, and
Yep,
you just show up and do the work. But if you've
totally.
got to get all the business as well and then show up and do the work, then that's a whole different ball game, isn't it? Especially if you're doing, well, we used to joke about this in business. It's not 24/7, it's 25/8. And and
Yep,
that's what it feels like sometimes when you
yep,
you are working for yourself and literally creating a job for yourself, isn't it?
yeah. Oh, 100%.
So the other thing I was going to ask you was, do you think it's important, and this will probably lead into the coaching side of things, but do you think it's important to actually focus on and get good at looking after one group of people?
Yes, absolutely.
So tell
Looking
me
after,
why. Yep.
yeah, looking after one group of people helps you identify where those people hang out.
Yep.
So if your people are really scared about niching right down to one particular market or one particular person,
Mm-hmm.
but really, when you really niche down to that one particular person, you can think about where they hang out, where they're where they're doing business, what other people they're speaking with. So then having that person in mind, and I would even give that person a name.
Yeah.
Having that person in mind, where you can start advertising, where you can start networking, who the people are that you need to talk to get the connections to those people. And generally, I always say to people, don't be too worried about niching down for that one person because others come around it. They
Yes.
absolutely do. But you just need to be focused on where you're going to do your marketing to move forward. And that's where I think you need to know that person, that particular one person.
All right. So that helps you with your marketing. What
Yeah.
about in delivery of your services? Does it help you to just focus on one area, one
Oh,
group of people?
yeah, totally. Because
Yep.
you can really get we're 80% of our business is in allied health. So we know the programs that they use and
Ah,
generally what what's being asked on the phone, the questions that are being asked when the phone's ringing, and what clients are expecting from us. So the more and more we do that, the more we know about that industry, the more we can preempt what people are expecting from us and what our clients are expecting on the end of the phone and things like that. And we can sort of be superstars in that space. And once you start working in that space, then you'll start getting a reputation, as long as you're doing a good job, of course.
Assuming that you're doing a good job, yes.
That's right. You'll start getting a reputation amongst that industry. We don't advertise at all. Ours is all referral based from our clients.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. So, we've just got that reputation in that allied health industry that we are a great place to work, and we're, different, but I know you'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, well, let's get to that now. How are you different? And I think this is really important to discuss before we go any further. I think it's really important to understand that it's what makes us different that makes us successful.
Yep.
So given that, how are you different? What do you do that makes you stand out from the rest of the people in your field?
So one thing we do where we are quite different to others in the field is we have a really good understanding of the neurodiverse space. Neurodivergent space, I should say. Yes. So we get a lot of, especially in the allied health sector, we get a lot of referrals to clients that may be neurodivergent themselves. So they might be ADHD or ASD or anything in that sort of neurodivergent space.
Fantastic.
And we also get referrals to clients who may be working with clients in that space as well. So it's kind of a no-brainer when a client comes to us and goes, I've got ADHD. I'm so glad that you understand how I'm going to work. And it's just like a breath of fresh air to them, because someone with ADHD, their world could just be in complete chaos. Yeah. And they come along and come to a VA practice that knows what it's like to be, working with someone with ADHD. And they're like, wow, this is great. I can just give all this to you and you can sort it out for me.
And you'll have a really good idea of what the experience is for them and how much they appreciate what you're going to do for them, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And just being able to, in the way we communicate and work with them, we're not giving them these massive big projects. We know with ADHD particularly, and I keep referring back to that, but a lot of our clients are ADHD. We break it down into small, easily bite-sized pieces for them to work in. Good idea.
Yeah. Look, I like that myself, and I'm not diagnosed with anything in particular, although I have my suspicions about some things.
Yes.
And I do. I just so appreciate that you do specialize in that area, because I think it's so necessary, especially VA, especially administrative stuff. To be able to, we laugh about this, like I love doing this until this comes along and I just go, oh my God, I want to do that now.
Right, shiny object syndrome.
Exactly. It's so much unfinished business at times, and sometimes, so this is the thing where it gets to me, and having, my own VA and getting them up and running. Where do you start? There's this sense of overwhelm if you do have unfinished business and you're trying to handle. So there's so many administrative tasks to take care of.
Definitely. Yep.
So look, I can hardly even finish a sentence before I'm on to the next one sometimes. So, going through all the stuff that does need to be taken care of, it takes a lot of discipline anyway. But if you struggle with that, you've got that frontal lobe stuff going on or not going on, then... Yes. What do you do? So having someone like you, that's fantastic. What a great point of difference.
Yeah,
I applaud you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, well, let me then ask you, and I ask this because we are the Disruptive Author. This is the Disruptive Author podcast. How do you disrupt in your industry? What do you do to shake things up?
I think, there's a few different ways, like definitely in the neurodivergent space. So we like to, we like to hire people that are also neurodivergent. So we sort of do that a bit different, because sometimes a lot of businesses won't do that because that's in the too hard basket. But, our team are trained in neurodiversity, and so why not hire someone that's in that space as well? Because that's, so in the employment sector, we're that very flexible workplace, that special needs friendly workplace in all realms, wheelchairs, neurodivergence, whatever. And we're good at, really supporting that. Mums, stay-at-home mums, all that sort of thing. In the business space, I think, we like to shake things up a bit by just doing things differently in the VA world. There's a very sort of common way of doing things, but I like to do things where we take extra care with our clients, where we have a client concierge on the team that really look after our clients, and we're part of their team rather than just an admin person.
Yep. Okay.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. All right. So let me ask you then, because you've been in business for 10 years and you've obviously got a lot of experience, like a broad range of experience over those years. 2 questions from that. Firstly, were you always going to build a team, or was that something that happened organically? And the second question I'll come to when you've answered that one.
Yes. So when I dreamed about having my own business, I always dreamed about having a team and just being a bloody awesome boss. I just had this thing that I wanted to provide a space for. At that time it was people, just for people to have a really great place to work, a supportive place to work, and a fun place to work. And then when my son was diagnosed with ADHD and I had to start my business, it then sort of morphed into allowing a space for particularly mums. And generally we have all female work base, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. We do want some males, but it just hasn't worked out that way. And just to be able to provide that flexibility on top of being an awesome place to work around, whether it's their kids or whether they're looking after a family member or they just want flexibility for themselves. So I just sort of leveled that up, I guess, to create that space as well. So it was always an intention to have a really cool place to work.
Have a team. So how many on your team right now?
I have 6 Australian VAs at the moment who are all employees. And I have 2 overseas VAs and then myself. So 9 in total at the moment, and hiring for another currently.
Okay, and you're looking at some pretty big growth for this year. Little birdie told me.
Yeah, massive growth for this year. So our big goal for this year is to hit 7 figures, which is our $1 million, and at least probably doubling the team. So looking at a team of around 15, 16.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so when you had that vision to create a great workspace and to have a team, did you see that many people on the team, and did you see those figures?
No, definitely not. I thought I was pretty good when I got to 100,000. I was like, woohoo, 100,000, a couple of team members, or maybe I think I just had 1, maybe 2. Then I can't really remember. But never in my wildest dreams would I have thought that I would be working towards $1 million business and having 15 team members. I thought maybe a little team of about maybe 5 max, and that would be it.
Yeah. Look, that's so exciting. And so I'm guessing, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that it evolved. The vision evolved. So as you reach certain points, you've thought, oh, I could maybe go a bit further. Okay. So is the $1 million mark, is that what do they call that? A big, hairy ass goal? Is that a big jump for you? Like, is it a big leap that scares the hell out of you? Because I know you plan things, so I know you'll have a solid plan for it.
Yes.
But does it still scare you? Is it big enough that it actually scares you?
No. A couple of years ago, yes. When I used to say to my coach or the team, we're going to hit $1 million, I was like, they were all freaking out. And I'm going, yes, no, it's all good. We could do it. But this little person in me is going, but now, as you say, I've planned it all out. I know it's going to work. I've watched the progressive growth in the business. And yeah, look, it is a large jump for us this year to go from where we are now to $1 million. It's not like it's only another $50,000 by any means. It's a huge jump. I mean, doubling the team in a year is a huge jump. Yeah. So, but the actual getting to the goal of $1 million doesn't scare me, but doubling the team that scares me.
All right. So is that something that you're working on? Is that something that you have to work on all the time? Just getting your mindset around growth?
Yeah, oh, definitely. And it's getting your mindset that, one, you can do it. Two, you've just got to build the team of trusted people around you to help you.
Yeah.
I have a great coach, a great business bestie that I can bounce things off.
Yeah.
I have a great team that I am pulling up through the ranks with me. One I've already promoted a couple of years back to be office manager. One of them I'm promoting to be personal assistant, and the other one I'm promoting to be the business development manager. So they've been with me for a few years now. So we're pulling them up, and we're all growing as we grow. So I know having that, what I call the Fab Four team,
Nice.
those four I just mentioned, they are a great support crew to get us and the rest of the team to that point. And I think I couldn't double the team without that support team in place.
Yeah, those key people.
Yeah.
So let me ask you then, if there was one piece of advice, given all your experience, given the growth that you've had, and I'm sure that growth hasn't always been, one steady straight line. I'm sure there's been, I know there's been ups and downs.
Definitely.
Some doozies in there.
Oh, yeah.
What we like to call that extreme sport of small business. But where I'm going with this is, what of all that you've learned through all of that do you think is the most important thing to share with other people in small business?
So I would say there's equally 2 points there. And one is get a coach. 100% get a coach.
Okay.
I've pretty much been with a coach from day one. Luckily, I just knew a friend that was a business coach and went to him and said, "I want to start a business. Where do I start?"
Yeah.
So he helped me along the way, and we went with him for a while, then I stopped, and then I'm back with him now. So 100% get a coach. And the other one is know your numbers, which your coach will tell you to do anyway. It's so important to know your numbers. You should be able to rattle off, how many leads, what your conversion rate is on those leads, and your bottom line. That is just so, I avoided that.
Profit,
all of that. I avoided that for so many years, especially when business wasn't doing so well. I just wanted to stick my head in the sand and forget about it. But that is the most important time to do it. My coach would force me to do it, and I hated it because all I would see is red on my cash flow sheet, just overdraft all the time and freaking out how I was going to pay for stuff. And I'm so glad he made me do that, because making me do that actually turned the whole business around.
So is that coach someone that is always a step ahead of you? Does it need to be someone that has been where you want to be, and can pull you forward? And is it sort of like you've gone to the same coach, then you've not gone to them, and now you're seeing them again or working with them again? Is that a normal pattern, or would people generally move from one coach to the next and sort of like level up? Does that make sense?
Yeah. It really depends. I think, yes, I think your coach can take you to a certain point, and then maybe you need a different coach to get you past that point. But if your coach is growing as well, then you can absolutely stay with the same coach. If you're still getting if you're still getting the results from that coach and they're growing as well, so say someone worked with me and they had a $70,000 business and they get to $100,000. Well, then obviously I'm tracking to $1 million. So there's no reason why they would leave me at 100,000. They could track to $1 million, because I could teach them all the stuff that I've done to get to $1 million. So it really depends on where you're at in your business and what you're getting from your coach. When I stopped working with my coach, I felt that he just couldn't give me any more at that time. And then he went away and did some more work. I went away and did some more work, and then we rejoined, and now he can give me what I need, because he's sort of gone and done a bit more work around that. So
all right, so it needs to be that constant growth.
I think so. Yeah.
Look, I think that's, if you're not growing, you know, as my son says, we're all fighting our own entropy. If you're not moving forward, you're actually dying.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think that goes at all levels, whether it's your business, your numbers, your body, your, you know, your mentality, on all levels.
Yep.
So with the numbers, was there a correlation, like a direct correlation between when you decided to own them
Yep.
and business growth?
Oh,
Does that line up?
100%. Yep. Yep.
Why? Tell me why.
I used to say I'm obsessed with my numbers now.
Mm.
I will look at my numbers. You know, I had to make it a reminder to look at them at least once a week because I hated it so much. It used to just every Monday I'd have a look at my numbers and I'd spiral into this major depression where I was just, you know, not good enough. I just couldn't do this. I was ready to give up my business, the whole thing. And I'm like, no, keep going. You're good. You know, I've got what I need. Now I'm looking at my numbers 2 to 3 times a week, if not every day. And that has had a huge effect because I'm on top of it. I know what's there. I can tell you, and when I say I'm looking at my numbers, this is my cash flow numbers. It's not looking at my leads and my conversions and all of that every day. I'm reviewing that every so often, but it's more the cash flow and my expenses out and my income in and making sure everything's been paid and seeing what my future projection looks like and all of that. And it just creates a space where you're feeling, as I said, you know, when it wasn't doing too great, I was feeling rubbish. But when it's doing great, or I'd learned to celebrate these little wins. So I might have had one little week where my business wasn't, I don't think during the time of where I was struggling, it was ever quite out of overdraft. But I just, you know, it may not have been as much overdraft as it was the week before. So I learned to go, oh, we've had a win this week. And
it's been growth in a positive direction. Yeah.
That's right. And I mean, my coach, I literally just finished this. My coach said to me, I want you to do a project for me and tell me how much debt you paid off last year in 2022. And I literally just did that because he's like, yeah, you've got this much debt left. And that was all accumulated from the downtime in business. But tell me how much you've actually paid and let's have a look at that as a win. And I did that. And now I've paid off just over $20,000 in a year. So I was like, whew, I just blew my mind. I was like, that's pretty impressive to have paid that much debt off in a year. So it's looking at, it's really turning things around. And once you look at your numbers and celebrating the little wins, and then the more little wins you celebrate, the bigger they get.
Awesome. So that's probably another tip then, celebrate the little wins.
Oh, yeah.
So, and what you focus on, that's the other thing I'm hearing from you now, what you focus on grows. Yep,
definitely. Absolutely.
Rather than focusing on the negatives and the not so nice bits, focus on the good things and come from that perspective because it changes your energy level, doesn't it? I mean, I think that's really important too. And that is that the energy you bring to the space you're in is the right energy for what you want to achieve. So probably even sitting down and setting intentions is a good practice on a regular basis.
Yeah.
When you come into the office, as you go into the week, as you go into a new year, we do it. We sort of tend to do it naturally at Christmas, New Year, don't we? We think about what do we want from this year, and so imagine if we did that every week.
That's right.
And then did it every day and got that intentional.
Yep. I write 10 goals every day.
Holy
10
moly.
goals down every day.
How long does it take you?
Oh, 5 minutes maybe, because it's the same goals every day. So I've just picked 10 goals to start with. And I write the same ones down every day. And then throughout the day, I'm having them in my head and I'm visualizing them. So when I wake up, I'm visualizing them. When I go to bed, I visualize them. And I just keep that front of mind. And then when I've knocked one off, I'll just go and replace that particular goal. So it's and it doesn't have to be 10, it can be 5 or even just one goal every day, as long as you're making the act of writing your goals down each day. And it's not just thinking about them, not typing them, it's writing them. It's having that, getting it out of your head and onto that paper, that act of doing it, and it's cementing it in your head.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap things up. It's been great talking to you. Any last minute sort of tips for someone else maybe that's just starting out in business? What would you say to them?
I would say keep going.
Yeah, don't
Most
give up.
definitely. Don't give up. But it's also okay to give up if it doesn't align with you anymore. So, I was listening to a podcast just yesterday and she was saying, as long as you've told yourself that you've given everything to it and it's just not aligning with you anymore, it's okay to give up. But if you're just giving up because it's in the too hard basket, keep going and surround yourself with the people that know. There's plenty of people out there, networking groups and business people in general that are very happy to go out for a coffee with you and just have be a support network for you.
Yeah, totally. I hear you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
I wish you luck with your big hairy ass goal.
Thank you.
And yep, I'm along for the ride. Happy to watch and cheer you on from the sidelines.
Yes, thank you.
As we do as small business people, I think that's a great thing that we can do that for each other and just understand. We're all at different places. Yep. We're all trying to be something, do something that maybe we haven't been or done before.
Yeah, totally.
That seems to be the way with business, doesn't it?
Yep.
So it's almost like an automatic. As soon as you say you're in business for yourself, it's an automatic personal development program and professional development program that you just create, just unfolds for you, doesn't it?
Most definitely, yes.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, my love, thank you so much for your time today and your experience and your expertise. That's fantastic, and I can't wait to share this with our audience. So I will be talking to you. If anyone wants to know how to get in touch with Paula, maybe you might like to, that's something we didn't actually touch on today, was your Boss Lady coaching. Do you want to just give us a, tell us in 25 words or less what you do with the coaching? And if anyone's keen, give us a website that they can go to check out some more.
Sure. Yeah, so I help you get your business help you get your business to 6 figures and beyond. Excellent. By way of coaching.
Excellent.
So you can find more information there on bossladycoaching.com.au, and all my handles are Boss Lady Coaching.
All right. Okay, so just look for Boss Lady Coaching.
Boss Lady Coaching, yep.
Love it. And I would say there that's primarily for other VAs.
Yeah, primarily for other VAs, but definitely what I teach and what I coach can be very relevant to other service-based businesses. 100%. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Boss Lady Coaching. Thanks again. And for those that are listening, just look up Boss Lady Coaching and find Paula, and she'll love to hold your hand while you're growing your business. Yep. Awesome. Thanks. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye.